not moving. All right. All right. Well, first off, my name is Bryan Hill. I'm the county executive in Fairfax County, and I'm honored to be here. I'm going to make some quick opening remarks.
You got to pull it up. You have to lift it up.
It's a karaoke machine. Still on.
It is on. It's on now. It is.
It's on now?
No, it is.
How about now?
It's on against the speakers.
Ah, that might be better.
How about this?
Yeah.
Okay. First off, welcome everybody today. I would like to say hello and thank you for being here. My phone's got to turn off. Everybody turn off their phones, please. Today we're here to talk about school safety. And the chairman of the Board of Supervisors, Sharon Bulova, unfortunately could not be here to welcome each and every one of you today. So she asked me to come and say hello to each and every one of you, so I'm saying hello. As you look at things going on in our country today, we have to look and pay attention to certain things in school safety. We have bullying, we have school violence, we have drugs, digital safety, the emergency management, but the key to everything, in my view, is youth leadership. We have to figure out a way for the youth to connect to our administration, to connect to the teachers, to show and talk to them about things that they see in our schools. Something that's very key. Obviously, I'm a parent. Well, you didn't know that, but I am a parent of 3 boys, and they talk to me every evening about their day in school. It's not only about the teachers, it's also about our home life and how we can get them to talk and move forward. And they have to be comfortable dealing with issues in schools. So this is our start of a school forum dealing with school safety, and I'm very happy to see so many people here. My job today was to moderate, then it changed to opening up, and now I have to also introduce our Secretary of Public Safety, Bryan Moran. The Secretary and I had a brief chat to discuss what he was going to talk about. It was over our lunch. Each of us had 3 cookies each and a cup of coffee. So I believe the Secretary is wired to give you a good opening remark. So on behalf of Fairfax County, please welcome Secretary Bryan Moran.
The lunch of champions, no doubt. Well, good afternoon. This is Shirley. I understand we are discussing opioids and heroin in the first panel, and then we're going to have 2 panels on school safety. So I will give you the ambitious award that we're going to talk about 2 really important, significant, timely issues in the course of this afternoon. So I think all of the presenters are going to have to be fairly brief and to the point. So I will start off and try to be brief and to the point. I am the Secretary of Public Safety and Homeland Security. I was first appointed by Governor McAuliffe in 2014 and then reappointed by Governor Northam. So I've had the privilege of this position now into my 5th year. And we have been working on these 2 issues ever since took office. We actually have some very good news around school safety, which I will share in just a moment. And then with respect to heroin and opioids, I understand we're going to have a wonderful panel. I would underscore what Bryan mentioned with respect to getting the kids involved and our teachers. I'll tell you, heroin and opioids has been a real frustration over the course of the last 4.5 years. And I say that because we have tried to do everything possible, working with our law enforcement agencies, working with our health community, our healthcare community, our medical community, because this is truly an epidemic. But when we started, and what we have today is a trajectory that continues to increase in terms of deaths. In 2017, we had over 1,500 drug deaths. 1,227 of those were due to opioid overdoses. And so we have truly been working on, and that's why it's a frustration, because the numbers continue to increase despite throwing the kitchen sink at this challenge. But what we have learned throughout this is that you must take a holistic approach. Every law enforcement officer in here and everyone across the Commonwealth has told me, Bryan, we cannot arrest our way out of this. This is a healthcare epidemic as well as an addiction challenge and a criminal justice issue. Most overdoses or those who are addicted have started with prescription medicine. And so we need to address, pain in a way that does not addict individuals so that they can't later kick the habit once they get off that prescription and then go to what is now an affordable and accessible heroin product. And so we have done a lot of legislation, a lot of education. It has to start immediately with our medical communities and with our medical schools to how to address pain in a way that doesn't addict our fellow citizens. And so a number of resources has been given to law enforcement. Obviously supply needs to be addressed, but also demand. So whether it's drug courts or a variety of issues in the criminal justice system need to be supported and resourced, but then working with our medical community. 2 years ago, our healthcare commissioner declared it an emergency, a state emergency, and we've been working with our entire medical community. And we'll continue to do that, certainly with Governor Northam, who is indeed himself a medical doctor. So a lot being done with respect to that, but there's still a frustration because those numbers, we have not seen a decline. I will share with you, governors from other states are experiencing the same thing. We try to adopt best practices from other states, particularly West Virginia, Kentucky, where this is rampant, and particularly in the Appalachian region. So shift gears a bit, school safety. Why am I have some good news with respect to school safety is because those very states who we talk to with respect to heroin and opioids and what we can do as a Commonwealth to address this epidemic tell us that Virginia is a leader when it comes to school safety. I was just at a Homeland Security Advisor, I'm the Governor's Homeland Security Advisor. We met in Washington, and I met with my counterparts all over the country, from New Hampshire to Florida to Utah. And to an individual, they held out Virginia as being a leader. In fact, Utah is coming to visit with us next week to walk through our threat assessment teams. And threat assessments is a key component of how we address school safety, and that's going to be a subject of a panel this afternoon. So a lot has been done around school safety, starting with in 2000 after Columbine. We created a Virginia School Safety Center, and Donna Michaelis is here. She's going to be presenting to you, which will be fascinating to watch. Because we were just in Loudoun County. We had a meeting with law enforcement and educators. We discussed school safety for 2 hours. Donna spoke for 45 minutes. Today, she's supposed to condense that presentation to 5 minutes, so we'll see how that works. But she has a lot of material, and if she doesn't get to it all, you should check it out on the website of the Department of Criminal Justice Services. So with respect to school audits, school safety audits that are mandated, after 2000, the center was created, and then after a horrific shooting on campus at Virginia Tech, additional legislation was passed. We incorporated campus safety in the threat assessments. And then in 2013, after yet another school shooting at Newtown, additional legislation was created, one of which was the mandatory threat assessments. And again, you're going to learn more about that this afternoon. So a lot has been done around school safety in the Commonwealth. We are a leader, but we're not going to rest at all, not as long as any of our students are at risk. We're going to continue to work on this issue. Governor Northam has appointed me to chair a task force along with the Secretary of Education around these issues and bringing together stakeholders to make recommendations. The Speaker of the House has created a bipartisan commission as well, and some House Democrats have created around these issues as well, around gun safety. So a lot is being done. So forums like this are extremely important to engage the community. I know there's a number of stakeholders here. So this is a part of it. It's just the beginning though. Please engage your legislators, both at the local level with John Cook and then at the state level with your legislators. In fact, just for a show of, well, I'll wait. I moderate a panel, so I'll wait for that. I've gone on too long as it is, but these are tremendous topics to discuss, extremely important. You know, when I put my kids, well, on the school bus, I was in Alexandria for 30 years, and you put them on the school bus, you expect them to return home safely. So I know you join me in that, and we need to ensure the safety of our kids at our school. So appreciate the opportunity to be here. Now I'm going to introduce John Cook to moderate a panel with respect to heroin and opioids. John has been no stranger to y'all. He's been a supervisor since 2009, so and chair of the Public Safety Committee on the Board of Supervisors. So, you know, Fairfax, in addition to the Commonwealth being a leader, Fairfax, of course, is a leader with respect to a lot of these issues. And so I appreciate John being here, and with no further ado, I'll introduce Supervisor Cook.